Endeavor Explorers. Welcome back to school and welcome to art. Today is your first day of art and I have a few things to show you. I'm a little rusty because of the summer, so I decided to videotape myself so I don't forget all the important stuff that you need to know. First thing, hey, here's the art room. There it is. If you're ever walking down the hall and you can't remember which door it is, look for this or that, depending on which direction you're going. Okay, now that we know where we're going, let's go in. This is the art room. When you enter, you want to make sure you're absolutely silent. We don't want to have to waste any time walking out the door and then coming back in because we're not quite ready to learn. So if you just walk in quietly, find your way to this carpet. It's right here in the front of the room. It doesn't really necessarily matter where you sit or who you sit by, as long as it's someone and somewhere that you can concentrate. If you come in and you are exceptionally quiet and respectful, I might choose you to sit in one of these scout chairs. So you'll see two of those. One is orange, one is green. They are really comfortable. If you get chosen to sit there, it means you're going to have some additional responsibilities. Now, I actually don't even sit there. I sit over here in my blue rolly chair so that I can handle all of the technical equipment. Plus, I want to look at you. You're right in front of me. I need to see you. From my view, I can see you. You can see, whoa, yeah, there we go. You can see the screen. The screen is really just projecting what I've got right here on the computer, or if I'm using the document camera, it'll show what's on the table right underneath. Speaking of, these might look familiar to you already. These are AIM tickets. They are awesome. They help your class and our school earn some rewards. Things like pajama day or dance party day, lots of different rewards. The scouts, the people that sit in those comfy fancy chairs over there, they are going to be watching you when you are on the carpet and learning. And if they notice you showing our AIM expectations, that is always being respectful, solving our own problems, and making good decisions or choices, then they are going to reward you, possibly, with one of their AIM tickets. Now you'll see that little note I wrote. It says give two and keep one. The scouts get to give away two each, but they also get to keep one for themselves. It's kind of like a paycheck. I figure they deserve something for all of their hard work. So the carpet space is definitely where we are learning. The tables are our doing spaces. So for right now, the fact that you're on the carpet tells you you're supposed to be learning. There are some expectations. The AIM expectations help us, but I also put a few little photos right above my head. They're quick little images that are visual reminders to tell you what you should be doing. The top figure shows a student. They're sitting crisscross applesauce, facing forward, their hands are to themselves. I can tell they're ready to learn. The middle figure shows a person giving a silent signal. That means it's not the time for chit-chat and talking. The last little picture, right there, the ear, kind of strange, it is showing someone listening. So it's not a time for talking. If you come in and you're a very curious person and you want to know what we're doing for the day, you can always look over my shoulder at the targets. The learning targets are posted. They'll look something like this, except I'll actually have some writing on them once we get started on doing some projects. If you want to know what we're supposed to be learning that day, check out your grade level's target. There's one for all of us, a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. After the scouts give away their AIM tickets, and we're ready to go to our tables, the transition should be really calm and quiet. We don't want to waste any of our art making time with behaviors and expectation reviews like walk quietly, be calm, be safe. So as you're heading to your table, you want to be as respectful as possible. Once you get to your table, you probably are going to notice that there are some tiny little painted dots in each corner of the table. Oh, I can't find it. There it is. There's a blue one, a yellow one, a green one, and a pink one. Those dots actually are our jobs. There's no way I can pass everything out by myself. And even though some of you are awesome helpers, I think it's time that we spread some of the responsibility around to everybody. So if you're ever curious, if you have a job, feel free to look over here and see what's posted. You're going to see a little sneak peek about what each grade level is doing for our first project right now. But if you know for sure that you're in 5th grade and you're sitting at the pink spot, you might be getting papers or putting them back into the folders. If you're sitting at the yellow spot, that means you're in charge of pencils for the day. These charts will change, so if you ever miss the directions, feel free to look over here. I change them according to what we're working on. We're not done yet. I want to explain a little bit about folders. Folders are crucial in this room because we have so many students coming to art, and each of those students is working on a project or even more than one project. We have to stay organized. So I've created a system that involves folders. It's pretty simple once you get it, but it might be confusing at the beginning. So I just randomly grabbed a class folder. It's pretty big. This one happens to be Mr. K's. Mr. K comes to art on day 1. It doesn't mean he's in 1st grade or his students are in 1st grade because they're actually in 3rd grade. It just means they come to art on day 1. Now, what's peeking out of here are some more folders. This one says table 1 on it, which makes sense because I'm standing over here at table 1. Makes sense. Inside table 1's folders are some more folders. Holy cow, that's a lot of folders. Each of these folders will have a student's name written on them as soon as I remember who's in Mr. K's class this year. Ooh. So if you are doing a project and you have a lot of pieces, you're going to want to keep your pieces in your folder so they don't mix up with anyone else's at your table or in your class. At the end of the day, it's usually the pink person's job to collect these after they organize them, bring them to me, or if I have a student helper, that's great too, and then we put them back into the teacher's folder. So these would go inside Mr. K's folder. I'm having a hard time doing that with one hand. And then we put them away. So once all 8 tables have their artwork away in the folder, I put them over here where you can see, oh my goodness, there's a lot of folders. We have a lot of classes in our school. I already gave you a quick tour of the art room, just showing you where the carpet is and the scout chairs, but there's a lot more of stuff in this room. So right over my shoulder, you'll see a sink. There's one sink directly underneath our job charts. That sink actually has a water fountain. So if you're ever thirsty and we're not in the middle of directions, feel free to grab a drink. There's also a recycling box and a garbage can. If it's paper, let's make sure we recycle it. Save the world, would ya? If I walk a little bit further, there's another sink. So we shouldn't have too long lines when we're trying to wash our hands or dump water from painting or something. As long as we are responsible, we should cruise through those jobs. Next to both sinks, obviously, a garbage can. If I continue walking around over my shoulder, you'll see a lot of art supplies. So these counters right back here, oftentimes they're going to have some supplies. I'll direct you if you need to get those supplies. but I always leave this here. The pencils always stay here. The sharpener always stays here. And hopefully the erasers always stay here too. So anytime you're looking for one of those things, there they are. I'm going to keep cruising. You don't necessarily have much to do back in that corner. Whew, what a mess. Whose desk is that? But you do oftentimes need to come over to either this rolling cart or that rolling cart. This one I'm showing you right now is basically going to have paper on it. If you're ever confused, where do we get the paper? Look above. It's the pink pom-pom. That makes sense because usually the pink job is to get the paper. So I hung up pink pom-pom right above the paper table. This table usually has supplies that we need for drawing or cutting, depending on what's there. And really, truly, I haven't gone that far, you guys. I'm just right behind the carpet. So there are those AIM expectations. You use them everywhere, in your classrooms, in the hallway, in the bathroom, in the lunchroom, at recess, and in the art room. They're posted so we don't forget them. I also want to show you this. Over here, I hung the letters A-R-T. Well, simply put, that spells art. If we are struggling as a class with our noise level, I might flip one of these. I'll usually let you know that I'm doing it by turning the lights off. Ooh. If I have to flip the lights and flip a card, that means we're going to go with some concentration time, otherwise known as 1 minute of silence. If it continues and I keep flipping cards, that minute of silence is going to grow into more minutes of silence. By being quiet, we'll be able to concentrate more on what we're supposed to do, which is make art. Art is going to go really fast. I swear to you, it happens every single time. So if it feels like I'm rushing you, sorry, I am. With all of the things that we need to do with learning and doing art, getting supplies, putting them away, it's going to be really super busy. And you can see that you're not the only class coming. All of these above my head, those are the times of other classes too. So we have to hustle in here. Really make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and if you notice someone that's doing the wrong thing, which is sometimes nothing, give them a gentle reminder. We are in this room as artists, but we're also a team. We have to work together in order to get the most art out of our time. When it is time to line up, I'll call you by your table. That'll also mean that your table is cleaned up and ready. I guess I should tell you a little bit more about me too. I love art. I realize that not everyone that walks through the door is going to love art as much as I do. Not only do I love to do art, but I love to teach art. If you are sitting here right now thinking, I've never been much of a drawer or a painter, please relax. My job is to help you learn how to do those things better. And I do have a few tricks up my sleeve. Also, if you're one of those people who loves to draw and loves to paint, loves to make stuff, keep in mind, art is not always about making things. We have learning to do too. And sometimes it actually doesn't involve getting our hands dirty. Sometimes it's more about thinking, planning, problem solving, sharing, talking, discovering. There's so many other things that we need to do in this room. Well, I hope I remembered to tell you everything I was supposed to tell you. If not, I guess I could tell you later. We have a lot of things to do, a lot of things to learn this year, a lot of fun to have. So I'm happy you're here. Welcome to Art for anyone who's new, and welcome back to all of you who have been here before.